What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video for you guys. In this video today, I'm going to be sharing my breastfeeding experience with you guys because I don't really see a lot of videos or topics about breastfeeding. So I wanted to share my personal experience with you guys on my channel. I'm gonna try to do a lot more mom videos for you guys as well, coming soon on my channel, so stay tuned for that. But if you would like to know a little bit more about my breastfeeding experience, then just stay tuned to this video. Alright y'all, so without further ado, let's just get right into the video. So I'm gonna share my breastfeeding experience with you guys. This is just my personal experience. Your guys' experience may be different, or someone else's experience may be different, but I just wanted to share my personal experience because I do want to start doing some mom videos on my channel as well, rather than just, you know, hair and makeup and lifestyle, etc. So I did want to make this video for you guys just to kind of let you guys know how my experience went. So let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So let's just start out from the beginning. I started breastfeeding my son obviously from when he was an infant up until he was about 5.5 months. I would say when I first started, I didn't really have any problems with him latching in the beginning, like when we were still in the hospital. I didn't have any problems with that, but then when we got home, I did have a problem with him latching on. So what I did was I did a little research to figure out like what's going on or what could help me get him latched on. And a person I think recommended a nipple shield to me, and when I used the nipple shield, it was the best thing ever. I believe it was by Medela. I had just picked it up at Walmart, and that literally saved like my life. Like I literally loved using the nipple shield because it was kind of like, you know, it mimic, you know, the natural, you know, nipple for the child or whatever. So I used that, and I used that kind of off and on in between. Like I would try to get him to latch on to my nipple and then use the nipple shield, or vice versa, kind of like, you know, going back and forth to see, you know, how he would do. And I did that for a while, up until he was about 6 months. So, or not 6 months, 5.5 months is when I stopped. So in the beginning, you know, it was fine. You know, he's breastfeeding. I was breastfeeding him, and eventually he just kind of shied away from the nipple shield. So, you know, I really didn't have, you know, any other alternative because he wouldn't latch on to my nipple. I did research, you know, I did all of that stuff. I probably honestly should have went to like a lactationist, or like to one of the group little things that they do, you know, for moms or whatever, but I didn't. But I ended up doing that, and eventually, like I said, he ended up stopping on his own with the nipple shield, and kind of just shied away from that. So I was at this point exclusively pumping. Before I was already pumping, like I was pumping every 2 to 3 hours, even though I was still breastfeeding him. A lot of people say you're not supposed to do that. Like they say you're supposed to just, if you're exclusively breastfeed, like you don't even have to pump. But I was getting so, like I honestly wasn't really sure, like in the details a lot of what you're supposed to do when you breastfeed. That's what I'm trying to say. I wasn't really sure. Like I just knew I wanted to breastfeed, so that's what I did. You know, I didn't really read up on breastfeeding, how to latch, what to do in this case, what to do in that case. So at this point, I was pumping and breastfeeding him a little bit because I would still use the nipple shield sometimes, but like I said, he really wasn't feeling the nipple shield. So, and a lot of people were telling me like you're not supposed to use that as a permanent, you know, go-to, you know, whatever. So I ended up pumping, and let me tell you guys, you lose a lot of sleep. This video is not just for moms who have breastfed. This video is also for, like, you know, if you just want to, you know somebody else's experience, you know, to kind of, you know, what to expect. Obviously everybody's body is different, so it's not going to always be the same, but, you know, this is for, you know, you guys too, if you want a little bit of insight before you start to breastfeed. So in the beginning, I lost so much sleep because, like I said, I was breastfeeding him sometimes and I was pumping every 2 to 3 hours. I lost so much sleep. It was literally like a full-time job. Like in the beginning, it was so hard. I mean, eventually, your body will create a pattern and your flow and all of that stuff will kind of regulate over time. Um, so I really wasn't worried about that because I mean I kind of expected, like, this is a big change, for your body to get used to. So I mean, over time it got easier. But I would say about when he was about 4.5 months, um, I was pumping, and I wasn't pumping, I felt like, enough. Like at this point he was growing, he was getting bigger, and he was wanting more. He was wanting more, and I couldn't exclusively breastfeed him for him to get full, because a lot of moms that I've read say, your baby gets a lot from just breastfeeding. But like I said, I wasn't exclusively breastfeeding. He wasn't on, my boob all the time. I would pump. So at this point, when I would pump, in the beginning, I would say my milk supply was good. But then, like, as the time went on, I would only pump about maybe 4 ounces. I would probably get 5 ounces in the morning if I was lucky enough. Like, because I guess that's when the most milk comes in, is during like the daytime and during like like your first morning milk or whatever, of what I've read. So at this point, I would get about 5 ounces in the morning, but during the day, I would literally only get about 3.5, maybe 4. So, at this point, I'm kind of, like, wow, like, I don't want to starve my child. Like, it seems like he's hungry. He's not getting full off of my breast milk. And mind you guys, I would store milk, but I would use it I would literally use it so fast because I felt like he was eating constantly and he wasn't getting full off my breast milk. And I've read a lot of different experiences with different moms when they breastfeed. And like I said previously, a lot of people say, your child gets what they need from your milk. It has all the nutrients and all of that good stuff, which it does. But for my case, I just feel like my child wasn't getting full, because like I said, he was getting bigger, and I feel like he was needing to eat more. And it would have been different if he was just, exclusively on my boob, but he wasn't. So I decided at that point to talk to his pediatrician and to ask her, if I was to stop, what formula to put him on, whatever, etc. And she told me what formula to kind of do it, start him off slowly and then increase obviously to the formula. And he took really well to the formula. Like, I didn't have any issues with transitioning him to the formula at all, which was great, because I've heard, some kids, they don't take well to formula or whatever the case. So he took really good to the formula, and I feel like he was getting a lot fuller, and he was sleeping a little bit more through the night as well. So the reason why I stopped, and the reason mainly why I'm making this video, is because I don't know if anybody else has been through the same experience I experienced. I lost a lot of weight while breastfeeding. I delivered at like 121, and I got literally down to 97 pounds while I was breastfeeding. And I feel like, for me personally, I'm very insecure about my weight already, and I'm already small. So imagine getting down to a weight that you've literally, well, I'm not gonna say I've never been that little, because when I was pregnant with him, I was so sick. I had to get admitted in the hospital, and I literally was about the same weight. I got down to about like 97, 98 pounds. So which was not normal for me, and sorry guys, and not normal for my doctor to see. So at this point, I'm concerned about my health, because I'm like, look, like, yo, like, I'm so little. I look anorexic. I look sick. Like, not to, like, throw shots or anything at anorexic people or anybody who is struggling, with being little, because I've struggled with being little all my life. But I was like, at this point, I need to focus on my health, and my health is what's important. And my son also, getting, the nutrients he needs and the food that he needs. Well, formula's not food, but you know what I'm saying. I want him to be full and not to be, hungry all the time, because like I said, that's kind of what, you know, he was, what I thought, he was just not getting enough. So that's really why I stopped. It was because of the weight loss, and it was just taking a huge toll on my body. I literally bounced back, so I didn't really have any complaints about, like, fatness or anything like that. But I was just so little. I had lost so much weight, and it literally was kind of putting me in a depression. Like, I was so depressed, and I was stressed out. I was more so stressed out than depressed, because like I said, I'm so insecure about my weight already being small, and I was super, super, super small. A lot of people, were saying, like, just make sure to eat more, drink shakes, protein shakes, all of that stuff. The insures, I tried literally all that, and they were not working for me at all. So I decided to stop. I actually did stop cold turkey when he hit 5.5 months. Is when, we transitioned him over to formula. And let me just say, from my experience from stopping, to you guys, I would not recommend stopping cold turkey, just because it's painful as hell. It's really, really painful. And they don't give you, like, really, like, shots anymore. Of what I've heard, they used to give, like, shots and stuff to hurry up and dry up your milk, but that's not the case nowadays. So if you do want to stop, I would recommend kind of slowly stopping. Me personally, though, I didn't, because I wanted my weight back. Like, I literally wanted to just go back to my normal, eating habits and my regular diet, all of that stuff. And I personally, I was impatient. I didn't want to wait to, I was ready to stop. Like, I just was ready to stop. And I did end up talking to my doctor, though. I believe it was one of the, I believe she was a PA, a physician's assistant. And I talked to her, and I was like, my boobs, they're engorged, my, I believe it's called, your milk ducts were clogged. My milk ducts were clogged. All of that stuff. They were so swollen. They were literally, like, up on my chest, which, is expected whenever you stop, because your body's not used to that. Your body is wanting to release the milk, and instead, you're keeping your milk in. And so people were telling me, like, don't pump anything, because, you're just going to send signals to your body to release the milk and produce the milk and all of that stuff. So, but I ended up reaching out to my doctor, and she actually gave me some pills that would help dry up my milk. Now, it wasn't like pills for you to, like, meant for drying up your milk, if that makes sense. It was just pills that had some type of medicine in it to where it would dry up my milk. So that ended up helping me a lot. It literally took me about a week for my milk to dry up, and I would say probably the first 3 to 4 days was the worst. I would say about the second day. The second to third day was probably the worst for me. I had to wear 2 sports bras. I couldn't move. I couldn't lay on my boobs, nothing at all. So it was really, like, hard. Because, like, when I would try to hold my son, I would have to kind of, like, hold him at a distance. And, like, literally, if I touched them anytime, well, I try to not touch them, but, like, if I had to put on my shirt or something, like, literally any type of sensation or touch to them would hurt so bad. So yeah, so I ended up stopping, and I would literally say about that week that I stopped, I mean, it was pretty much gone. Like, all my milk was pretty much gone. It started, like, to dry up, though, probably within, I think she had told me it was, like, about 48 to 72 hours. So, I still had, like, the engorgement and all that stuff. The engorgement and my milk ducts being plugged up didn't really settle until probably, like, day 4 or 5. So, I mean, I stopped, and after that, I didn't have any issues or anything like that. Now, my boobs did, however, get small, just like, anybody else's, I'm sure. Well, I don't really know about anybody else, but like I said, it's just my experience. I've heard kind of both, that some women do keep their big boobs. Some women, they just go down, which mine particularly did go down. after, because obviously, you know, your boobs are filled straight up with milk. So of course, you know, when you don't have that in your boobs anymore, you know, obviously they're gonna go down. So that really wasn't an issue for me though. I did, you know, fast forward to a few months after that, I did, you know, start to pick up my weight again. So let me know if you guys had struggled with weight loss, especially if you were already little. Please let me know in the comments below, because other people, I feel like they lost weight too, but they were already, you know, at kind of like that goal weight that they were at, and didn't really struggle with the weight loss. Let me know in the comments below if you did struggle like how I did with the weight loss. I would say though that I don't regret breastfeeding. It was pretty much the best decision that I have ever made for me and my child, and I wouldn't had it any other way. I would say I would breastfeed again. I don't know about how long. I kind of want to breastfeed at least till 6 months. I want to make it at least till 6 months, 6 months to a year. Obviously, have your research and look up research before you decide to stop or breastfeed. Just because it'll give you a little bit more insight, especially if you're just kind of a brand new mom like how I was. I didn't really have anybody in my family to tell me like, okay, this is what I went through, you know, this is what you should expect. But I know, like I said, everybody's different, so everybody's gonna have a different type of story, and a different type of experience. So definitely look into it first, and just make sure that it is the right thing for you to do. But don't knock something until you try it. I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not knocking anybody who has their kids on formula or anything. As long as your child is eating, that's all that matters. Like literally at the end of the day, that's all that matters. As long as they're eating, that's all that matters, you know? So I just wanted to share my breastfeeding experience with you guys, just to kind of let you guys know kind of what I went through when I was breastfeeding and kind of what my experience was. I do want to do a lot more mom kind of videos or story times on my channel as well. So let me know in the comments what you guys would want to see next on my channel. And don't forget to like, thumbs up this video if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.